Didn't want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway because I care. All right. Moving on from log 5, which was about complete circuits and how everything is connected and then all that good stuff. You go check it out. Now, moving on to log 6 here is about gates and what's in the river, what I'm talking about, and strong genetics. Now, you're going to have to understand in this whole entire channel and stuff the way I'm going to be presenting something that I believe in. Now, this leads on to that I am a believer in Jesus Christ of Nazareth and the Holy Ghost and God Yahweh. And that's why I'm like trying to help people with not just explaining about just God, but using, energy and light and dark. Just in case if you didn't really believe in the Maker is what I call it. Now, you're welcome to keep listening and learning about the life that you're in, but I am going to be using God and the Maker a lot in this channel because life is a river and there's not just only you in it, there's others around it, and I want to open your eyes to what's around it. And there's not only things that are just in the river, there's things around it that are watching it and keeping it balanced. Now, I'm trying to teach you this through historical events and wars and science and math and my own experiences. Now, you don't have to support it, obviously, and that's why it's your option to even listen in the first place. Or if you want to listen, then you're more than welcome to state your opinion. That's just part of it. Now, the wisdom and the theories are here for you just for the help and the discussion of other possibilities, in additions to the ideas or different views on them. Now, moving on to the gates. The Maker that I believe is the positive side, or the light, is the one who put these gates up and barriers for both sides. Like, even if the dark side was there to, establish these gates as well, they both had to understand that there has to be a gate to keep all of that power out of the balanced world until you can, put something, a small something addition, into the world to balance what it needs to keep the balance perfect enough for it to work. Now, these energies obviously would love to go, and overrun the earth and try and take over it. That's what's the purpose for the gates. Now, the Maker, Yahweh, literally makes you. He breaks you like a horse because you are an animal before you are even human. And then he takes you out of this test of life. Either, but where does he take you? And that's up to you, really. Again, it goes back to how you grow yourself into a negative light, of dark light, or a positive light or energy. Or if you find yourself like one of those people that are a lot in this world and trying to keep their perfect balance and keep themselves happy, those people will probably get taken back to the balanced place, which would be the world. And you clearly did not do enough to help each side of the energy. And this is if you're lucky enough to become a human again. I mean, you can probably get sent back as another animal if you, the Creator and the Maker finds you not worthy enough, he'll probably send you on another test or something. Now, this doesn't count for all animals. I believe that, God has a purpose for people, and he'll send them as, a horse for, a big battle or something. I know it sounds crazy, but it just kind of makes sense that the purpose or something at that time and age would have been that. But nowadays, you don't really need an animal because you have machineries and stuff that do that job. But that doesn't mean like a dog or something like that, or even, yeah, I can't say that exactly. I'm sure there's obviously pets and stuff that support a human more than I obviously can see, because I can't see everything. I'm just telling you what I have kind of picked up on. And obviously there's a lot more. That's why I'm putting this out there, to maybe find someone else that knows even a little bit more that can open my eyes. And then that's why I'm trying to open other people's eyes as well, what's around them. So he makes you at birth, breaks you, or someone else who has taught that, same skill set to refine you into a human enough to not just be a freaking savage. And then he takes you. And I believe that Yahweh, the Maker, is the only one who can do all three of these, or give the order to do so if it helps, and it is called for. Especially the making and the taking, because all living things on earth are only vessels. You're basically a speaker box, All you can do is, and this is proof through science, all you can do is pick up the things around you, the resources and the raw materials that are already provided, and to be able to create anything. Like, just look at it. Can you just, with your own power, and just manifest anything out of the atoms and the, small little things that you could, or even, even that, it's still, the atoms are still provided for you. So, it's why it's so important that you give thanks to the living energies that you obtain and you consume as your meals, because you cannot create that same thing. Now, you can get the two animals together and they can create it, but you yourself cannot just do it. You cannot reach in there, and make the whole magic happen. Same with humans. You can go through the motion of having, your good times, your intercourse with your mate, and then something pops out, but it's not you that is creating that life. All you can do is make it happen, just like anything in this world. And this is proof of why people can get taken over with spirits and stuff like that, evil and good spirits. It's happened many, many, many times in history, because you yourself are just a vessel until that vessel, is done. And then you become a corpse, and then the earth eats your energy, which is super important for the earth, and why it lets you just basically crap all over it and do whatever you want, because eventually it's going to get all of what you've grown into. And that's why it's fine with you doing it, but it still would like you to give back to it and understand that it gives you every single thing in life. Every single thing, unless it's fallen out of the space, it's, an outer space. You have everything comes from Earth. You have to see how important that is, and why you should be so, so grateful and give thanks to the soul's energy that you are eating from their corpse to continue your life and do whatever you're doing, regardless of what kind of person you are. And that goes into supporting extremely how important it is of the cycle of life, because the most important thing for a human is their future. And if you don't support the cycle of life, and you don't go back into the future with your next generation and stuff, then you probably are doing something wrong. Regardless how, twisted you try and get around that, there's a direct way to do it and the right way to do it. And that you should know. Now, this is part 1 of log 6, because I've made it a little longer than I expected it to become. So I'm still trying to keep it a little shorter for each one. But part 2, we'll move on to what the river is made of, and strong genetics coming up. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something.